Hi, my name is Grace and I'm a product manager at Gretel. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create a Gretel workflow using our native Postgres connector to synthesize a database. To begin, I'm going to create two connections, one to my input database and an output Postgres connector that I'll use to write my synthesized database to. I like to edit the names of my connections so that I can remember what I'm using them for. Our Postgres connectors take parameters username, password, hostname, port, and database. You can also include optional schema parameters, and for more advanced configuration, you can use the JDBC URL parameters. Now that I've created my input and output connections, I'm going to create a new workflow. Navigating to my Workflows tab, I can see other workflows that I have created and run. Workflows are a great way to automate synthetic data generation. To start, I'll choose a project for my workflow to live in. Next, I will select the Gretel model or combination of models that I want for my use case. Today, I'm going to use our synthetic ActGAN model. Now I'm going to define my input data using the Postgres input connection I created earlier. I'll test that connection to make sure it's valid and continue on. I can choose to store my output data in the Gretel cloud, or I can use a connector to write my synthesized data to an external data source. I'm going to write my output data to my Postgres output connector. You can choose to run workflows manually or have them run on a recurring schedule. You might choose to schedule your workflow to run daily, weekly, monthly, or a more custom schedule. Today, I'm going to choose to run the workflow now, and I can always edit and set a schedule later. This workflow YAML config has been created based on all of the inputs we've already selected. It reads from our source, it trains and runs a Gretel tabular ActGAN model, and it writes to our destination. Now all I have to do is click Run and wait for my synthesized database to be written to my output. While a workflow is active, you can track its progress by looking at the logs for the various actions in the workflow. Right now, the workflow is reading my database from my Postgres source. I can see it extracting the 5 tables in my telecom database: account, client, invoice, location, and payment. As it progresses, I'll see more and more logs. Once the extraction completes, model training and generation will begin. It will take about 15 minutes for this database to train and generate synthetic data, so we'll pause here and return when it's complete. The synthetic database was successfully generated and written via our output Postgres connector. Let's switch over to see that the data was actually written to Postgres. Now I'm looking at our synthetic database that has been written to Postgres. As you can see, we have our 5 tables, and each of them have been populated with the synthetic data.